Hey there, science fans! Today we're diving into the exciting world of chemical kinetics. What is chemical kinetics, you ask? It's the branch of chemistry that studies how fast reactions occur. In simpler terms, it's all about the speed of reactions. Why does this matter? Well, chemical kinetics is everywhere. It helps us understand how quickly a medicine works in your body. It explains why we store food in the refrigerator. Hint, to slow down those pesky spoilage reactions. It even helps engineers design efficient industrial processes. Chemical kinetics is the study of chemical reactions and how fast they happen. It's like the speed limit of the chemical world. Understanding it is crucial for many fields, from manufacturing to medicine. So, buckle up as we explore the fascinating world of chemical kinetics. Get ready for some rate laws, collisions, and maybe even a catalyst or two. Let's talk speed. In chemical kinetics, reaction rate is king. It tells us how quickly reactants are being used up and how fast products are forming. Think of it like this. The faster the reaction rate, the quicker the chemical change. We can measure reaction rates in different ways. One way is the average rate, which is like the average speed of a car over a trip. It tells us the overall change in concentration over a period of time. Then there's the instantaneous rate, which is the speed at a specific moment in time, like checking your speedometer. We express reaction rates in terms of changes in concentration over time. It's like saying the speed limit is 55 miles per hour, but instead of miles, we use concentration, and instead of hours, we use seconds or minutes. Understanding reaction rates is key to understanding how reactions work. It's the foundation of chemical kinetics. Ever wonder why some reactions happen in a flash, while others take their sweet time? The answer lies in the factors that affect reaction rates. It's like a recipe for speed. First up, we have concentration. Imagine a crowded room full of people ready to dance. The more people there are, the more likely they are to bump into each other and start dancing. Similarly, higher concentrations of reactants lead to more collisions and a faster reaction rate. Next, there's temperature. Think about how heat speeds up molecules. The hotter it gets, the faster they move, increasing the chances of them colliding and reacting. So, higher temperatures usually mean faster reactions. Then, we have the nature of reactants. Some substances are just naturally more reactive than others. It's like comparing a sprinter to a marathon runner. The sprinter is naturally faster. Surface area also plays a role. Think about a log versus sawdust. The sawdust has a much larger surface area exposed to oxygen, so it burns much faster. Finally, we have catalysts. These are like the cheerleaders of the chemical world. They speed up reactions without being consumed themselves. We'll learn more about them later. So, there you have it. These are just some of the factors that can affect reaction rates. It's a delicate balance that determines how fast a reaction will go. Now, let's talk about how we actually measure and describe reaction rates. This is where rate laws and rate constants come into play. A rate law is a mathematical expression that tells us how the rate of a reaction depends on the concentrations of the reactants. It's like a secret code that reveals the relationship between concentration and reaction speed. The rate constant, on the other hand, is a proportionality constant that tells us the intrinsic speed of a reaction at a given temperature. It's like the base speed limit for a particular chemical reaction. To determine rate laws and rate constants, chemists perform experiments. They carefully measure reaction rates at different concentrations and temperatures. It's like a detective gathering clues to solve a case. By analyzing the experimental data, they can determine the rate law, the rate constant, and ultimately, the mechanism of the reaction. It's like piecing together a puzzle to understand how a reaction really works. So, rate laws and rate constants are essential tools for understanding and predicting reaction rates. They're the keys to unlocking the secrets of chemical kinetics. Section 5. Order in the chaos. Understanding reaction order. In chemical kinetics, we often talk about the order of a reaction. But what does that even mean? Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. The order of a reaction tells us how the rate of the reaction is affected by the concentration of each reactant. It's a way to classify reactions based on their rate dependence on concentration. For example, a zero-order reaction means the rate is independent of the reactant's concentration. It's like a car driving at a constant speed, no matter how much gas is in the tank. A first-order reaction means the rate is directly proportional to the concentration of one reactant. If you double the concentration, you double the rate. It's like pushing the gas pedal twice as hard makes the car go twice as fast. Then we have second-order reactions, where the rate is proportional to the square of the concentration of one reactant, or the product of the concentrations of two reactants. We also have pseudo-first-order reactions, which appear to be first-order, but actually involve more than one reactant. It's like a car with two engines. Even if one is working at half capacity, it can still go fast. Understanding reaction order is crucial for predicting how reactions will behave under different conditions. It's like having a roadmap that tells you how the reaction rate will change as the concentrations of reactants change. Section 6. The half-life of change. A key concept in kinetics. Have you ever heard of the half-life of a radioactive element? It's the time it takes for half of the atoms to decay. Well, in chemical kinetics, we also talk about half-life, but instead of radioactive decay, we're talking about the time it takes for half of a reactant to be consumed in a reaction. The half-life of a reaction is a useful concept because it tells us how long it takes for a reaction to reach a certain point. It's like a timer that tells you when half of the reactants have been used up. The half-life of a reaction depends on the order of the reaction. For a first-order reaction, the half-life is constant, meaning it takes the same amount of time for half of the reactant to be consumed, regardless of how much reactant you start with. For other reaction orders, the half-life can change depending on the initial concentration of the reactants. It's like a race where the runners slow down as they get tired. The concept of half-life has many applications in chemistry, from determining the shelf life of medicines to understanding the fate of pollutants in the environment. It's a powerful tool for understanding how reactions progress over time. Section 7. Collision and transition. Theories behind reactions. Now, let's delve into the theories that explain how reactions actually occur at the molecular level. Two important theories are collision theory and transition state theory. Collision theory states that for a reaction to occur, reactant molecules must collide with sufficient energy and in the correct orientation. It's like playing billiards. The molecules need to hit each other just right for a reaction to happen. The minimum energy required for a reaction to occur is called the activation energy. It's like the energy barrier that molecules need to overcome to react. Think of it like a hill the molecules need to climb. Transition state theory, on the other hand, focuses on the formation of an unstable intermediate species called the transition state. This state represents the highest energy point along the reaction pathway. It's like the peak of the hill the molecules are trying to climb. These theories provide a framework for understanding the factors that affect reaction rates. They help us visualize how molecules interact and what conditions are necessary for reactions to occur. Section 8. The Arrhenius equation. Unlocking the temperature effect. Remember how we talked about temperature affecting reaction rates earlier? Well, the Arrhenius equation quantifies this relationship. It's a mathematical equation that relates the rate constant of a reaction to the activation energy and temperature. The Arrhenius equation tells us that as temperature increases, the rate constant, and therefore the reaction rate also increases. It's like turning up the heat on a stove. The hotter it gets, the faster the food cooks. The equation also shows that reactions with lower activation energies have faster rates at a given temperature. It's like a lower hill is easier to climb, so more molecules can overcome the barrier and react. The Arrhenius equation is a powerful tool for chemists and engineers. It allows them to predict how reaction rates will change with temperature. This is essential for designing and optimizing chemical processes. Section 9. Catalysts. The reaction boosters. Catalysts are like the superheroes of the chemical world. They speed up reactions without being consumed themselves. They're like the coaches that help the molecules score a goal. Catalysts work by providing an alternative reaction pathway with a lower activation energy. It's like building a tunnel through a mountain instead of having to climb over it. There are different types of catalysts. Some are homogeneous catalysts, meaning they're in the same phase as the reactants. Others are heterogeneous catalysts, meaning they're in a different phase. Enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up reactions in living organisms. They're incredibly efficient and specific, like a key fitting perfectly into a lock. Catalysts play a vital role in many industrial processes, such as the production of fertilizers, plastics, and fuels. They also play a crucial role in our bodies, enabling essential biochemical reactions to occur at life-sustaining rates. Section 10. Chemical kinetics in action, from industry to medicine. Chemical kinetics is not just a theoretical concept, it has real-world applications in numerous fields. Let's explore a few examples. In the chemical industry, chemical kinetics is used to design and optimize processes for producing chemicals, fuels, and materials. By understanding reaction rates, engineers can control reaction conditions to maximize yield and efficiency. In environmental science, chemical kinetics helps us understand the fate and transport of pollutants in the atmosphere, water, and soil. It also helps us develop strategies for pollution control and remediation. In medicine, pharmacokinetics, a branch of pharmacology, uses chemical kinetics to study the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of drugs in the body. This information is crucial for determining drug dosages and optimizing drug delivery. These are just a few examples of the many ways chemical kinetics impacts our lives. From the products we use to the medicines we take, chemical kinetics plays a vital role in shaping our world. So, there you have it. Chemical kinetics is a fascinating and essential field that helps us understand the world around us. From the smallest molecules to the largest industrial processes, chemical kinetics is everywhere. Keep exploring and remember, science rules.